Hey 143 fam, I'm Antonia. Thank you for being here. We are going to take a look at love for the second half of the month in just a minute. But first, for those of you who would like to be considered for a free reading this month, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment below your video, and I will alert winners on Instagram and on Twitter at the very end of the month. If you don't have Instagram or Twitter, just Google me at UrbanSoulGuru and I will come up. My profile is public, so you won't have an issue finding that information there. For those of you who do have Instagram, catch me every Friday this month in celebration of reaching 10,000 subscribers last month. I am doing a little giveaway each Friday where you get to ask me one free question. I choose a handful of winners. It's been a lot of fun. So make sure you follow me at UrbanSoulGuru. Now let's take a look at love for the second half of September. Hi Leo, this reading is for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising in love, September 15th through the end of the month. Leo in love, September 15th through the end of the month. Leo, September 15th through the end of the month. If you guys see a little kitty face like pop out from behind me, it's because I have my little girl sitting behind me on the chair. She refuses to leave me right now. So we may have a kitty interruption, but at least it will be a very cute interruption. Okay, Leo, one more shuffle. Leo in love. September 15th through the end of the month. Okay, Leo. I'm getting this emphasis on separations right now, and it's not necessarily that I'm feeling separations occur over the next 2 weeks. It's really not what's coming up at all. It almost feels like something's triggered you to think of an old love, to think of not just reminiscing about an old love, but it almost feels like some of you may be rehashing a separation. Why did you break up? What went wrong? And that may trigger you to reminisce a little bit, but it feels like you're rehashing a separation. A big message comes through for you, Leo, is this. For those of you who that message applies to, this person feels like a very important part of your story once upon a time. However, it feels like the soulmate lessons and the journey ran its course, okay? So a separation actually feels like it was of the highest good for many of you. If you were to get back into that relationship, it's not even like old karmic lessons would resurface, but there just wouldn't be enough growth to make it worth your time or to make it worth their time. It doesn't mean that you can't still honor this person. It doesn't mean that you can't still look back fondly and have really beautiful memories, or honor if maybe some pains and some grief still comes up, because that's going to show you that maybe you still have a little bit of healing to do. However, a big message that comes through, the biggest message that comes through around this, is to just have some peace of mind, knowing that the way it turned out was perfect. Okay, your journey was perfect. The ups and downs, including the ending. It's okay to honor this person, because you honor this person, because there is still some love intact, because there is still good energy intact. It doesn't mean that you necessarily want that person back. So try not to get that confused, because it may distract you from bigger love coming in over the next couple of weeks or couple of months ahead for you. So let's get a little bit more clarity here, Leo. Leo in love, September 15th through the ends of the month. There feels like a very specific trigger for this, though. You may have run into somebody, you may have heard from somebody, you may have seen something. It doesn't feel random. It feels like there is a trigger, but that it's brought you back to why you separated, and maybe that wasn't of the highest good, okay? And I think this is why. There are definitely romantic feelings in the mix here. For those of you that are still thinking about an ex and maybe second-guessing an ending, there is definitely love intact here. And it's okay to love somebody and still know that it's of your highest good to move on with your life, okay? This particular person feels like a particularly beautiful soul. And I think that's what's so hard about letting them go and really honoring the separation long term, because this doesn't feel like an ex that was deceitful or somebody who played games. This person shows up, at least the way it's showing up for me to relay the message to you, they just show up as somebody who was destined to love you at one point in time, okay? Definitely soulmate connections here. For some of you, very deep soulmate connections here. I'm not seeing reconciliations, and I don't even think you guys are really interested in the reconciliation, but there is some sort of like rehashing or thinking over a separation, and it comes through as one person. It's not thinking about all exes or multiple people. It definitely comes through as a specific person, and it gets triggered. So if you're not feeling like that coming into the next 2 weeks, recognize, or just keep your eyes open for something being a trigger for this, and have that understanding that everything's okay, that this turned out the way it needed to, so that you can move forward a little bit more peacefully, okay? Now, for others of you, a very different message here. This comes through as romantic feelings for somebody new. And I honestly think for some of you, you may have feelings for somebody new, but some of that intimacy, some of the vulnerability, it's almost like, I want to say, could it be a little bit of fear, Leo? A little bit of fear, finally moving on from that person you used to love so much. Have you finally met somebody who actually might be a better fit for you? Is there higher vibing love here? That may be the trigger, and it may not be conscious. It may not be conscious fear. It may be something a little bit more hidden. But it does feel like a beautiful new love, a beautiful new person, a beautiful new connection, even if it hasn't developed into love yet. Feels like they may be that trigger for you. That's okay. Honor what they're holding space for. If there's still some grief or some fear around love, use this as an opportunity to heal. Use this as an opportunity to do a little bit more cleansing, okay? Because I feel like for those of you, as long as you keep moving forward and you don't get stuck reminiscing about the ex or the past, you're moving towards someone and something that is fulfilling in a way you haven't experienced before. Now, we've been talking about this for a little bit, Leo, and it is a process, okay? Some of you will get there overnight, and others of you have a little bit more grief and karmic lessons to heal and to go through, especially for those of you. I'm getting especially for those of you who have more challenging pasts, okay? It wasn't just like one bad relationship. You may have had a really troubled past that goes deep into family, okay? That healing doesn't happen overnight, but the important thing is to recognize that you are healing, and you're getting very close to this. You're getting very close to somebody that you really do want to love, somebody that really does trump all of the old relationships, or that one person that maybe, if you really want to acknowledge and admit to yourself, you may still be hung up on. Now, Leo, remember, these readings can go both ways, so you may find out that someone is still really hung up on you, and they're having a really hard time moving forward. For some of you, being empaths and being very spiritually in tune, you may not be having that conversation in the physical realm, but you may be picking up on that spiritually. If you are receiving that energy from a partner who's having a hard time, but you have moved on and you're feeling at peace, cut those cords and send them peace and send them forgiveness and send them love, okay? If nothing else, it's good karma, but it is the right thing to do. It's going to help free you so you can move forward a little bit more quickly as well. But I do see that this could potentially be distracting some of you from love. But it does feel like somebody new may already be in the picture, because it feels like that person may be the trigger for some of this going on. For those of you in committed relationships, I'm feeling a lot of romance over the next, yeah, that card just flew. I'm feeling a lot of romance over the next 2 weeks for you, like a lot of romance. I'm getting this, as cheesy as it sounds, I'm getting candlelit dinners, but like homemade candlelit dinners, not necessarily going out to eat in the candlelight. That's nice too, but I'm really seeing somebody putting in a lot of effort around being romantic, like very consciously romantic. Now, this could very well be you, Leo, but don't be surprised if over the next 2 weeks, your partner really like turns this all the way up and you're like, where is this coming from? It's coming from love. It's coming from love. It's coming from an abundance of love. Okay, but let me get this next card and we'll look at this with a little bit more depth. Leo, no wonder you're being a little triggered right now, okay? Look at what comes out, and it's beautiful. This is a beautiful trigger and a beautiful person. Okay, this could be the one. This could be the one. I really think for some of you, you're stepping into a new relationship, and it's sort of like that last goodbye, that final straw that separates you from an old partner that you truly did love, that you really did consider maybe going back, getting back together with at one point in time. This feels like a new person that you have romantic feelings for. Could they be the real deal for you now? Could this person really be legit, the person that you actually spend a lifetime with or a significant amount of time for some of you, I mean, it's really what you've already called in. You're not waiting for this anymore. If you're in a committed relationship, just going back to that, or romance, and someone really like turning it up, it feels like someone fell more in love with you recently. And I feel like you have been even more attractive than normal. And I think Leos are always very attractive and attract a lot of people and compliments and love to them, okay? Or at least admirers, even if it tends to be a little superficial from people at times. But nonetheless, your partner in a committed relationship, it's amplified right now because of all the transition you've been going through on a personal level. Somebody really admires this in you. Someone close to you is really admiring this process of empowerment, this process of renewal, sort of rebirth in some ways that Leos have been going through. See, the person who shows up and who can honor your growth, Leo, that's the person you want to stick it out with, okay? I'm not really feeling problems here. I'm feeling a lot of romance, but, you know, soulmates show up with karmic lessons sometimes, okay? And especially if you're in a long-term relationship, you have your ups and downs. But this person is a beautiful, beautiful partner for you. Okay, I was getting a little bit of a karmic issue, codependence, okay? That was coming up pretty hardcore for Virgo. So you may be on the cusp, or a partner may be on the cusp, or maybe your partner is a Virgo, okay? You may be dealing with a Virgo for sure. There's definitely some crossover here with some of these cards. You know, you guys are just leaps and bounds from where you were just a few months ago, including in love. If you're in a romantic relationship or a committed relationship, codependence definitely feels like it's coming up again. It feels like this is something that hasn't been completely resolved. It feels like you may have talked about this, but it didn't get fully resolved, okay? Now, I know Virgos are having a hard time communicating about this. You may be finding the same for you. Although I'm not feeling like as much of a restriction in throat chakra as I was for Virgos, don't be afraid to bring up these kinds of conversations to a partner. If somebody's being codependent, if you're feeling like someone's triggering some codependence in you, which is not quite as likely, I think that you would be telling a partner that they're being a little codependent. I don't think that that is uncommon for Leo to attract from time to time as a codependent partner. Don't be afraid to have that conversation. They're ready to hear it. You guys are ready to heal. You guys will move past this. It feels like you're going to move past this a little quicker than maybe Virgo will. It just feels like you may be a little bit more game to just like deal with an issue and just keep it moving. There's forgiveness here. I'm not feeling separations in this, okay? I'm not seeing that this is something that would break up a relationship unless you don't talk about it and unless you have a partner who won't work at it with you. But I am feeling from the majority of you mutual effort here. But there's romance. I mean, something is just coming up for you. Where some of you may be triggered and thinking about separation, I'm also feeling a trigger for romance. It may be because this is finally healed. Or whether it may not even be codependence. This just holding space for a karmic issue. One of those karmic patterns that continues to show up. That thing that you always argue about. You always talk about. The issue that hasn't gone away. That's karmic, okay? As you resolve this, it strengthens your love. And there's more romance there naturally because you don't have the stress of dealing with the old karmic issue. Yeah, okay. Look at this. These romantic feelings, for many of you, this is new. Clarified by honeymoon. I'm feeling a honeymoon stage here. This does feel like a new relationship. It feels like the honeymoon stage of a relationship that will, I want to hold this up. Okay, honeymoon phase. That will evolve into this. This could be the one. You may not realize that they're the one yet, but I feel like you're seeing signs. And I feel like that could be a little triggering. It could bring up some fears or some anxieties. Just work through that. Just honor that if that's showing up for you, Leo. You may also be seeing that in your partner. You may want to talk them through that. Like, it's okay to have some fear in a new relationship. It's okay to not want to jump into commitment. You know, I can hold space. I'm loyal. Let's just have fun now. Let's enjoy the moment. Let's be in present moment. For many of you, you may be having those kinds of conversations with a partner. For others of you, it's like, these romantic feelings and this honeymoon, you're getting back to that honeymoon stage with your current partner, even if you've been together for the longest time. It's not necessarily a new phase. It's a renewal of something so positive that you've already experienced. It enhances love, but it's like romance. This feels like a very romantic 2 weeks for you. And this may extend into October. I don't see this abruptly ending at the end of the month, but For sure, many of you are dealing with really romantic partners. You may be feeling particularly romantic. Yeah, okay, this could be the one, this partner that honors your growth and is finding you even more attractive because of this empowerment and self-love at the core, okay? Is literally self-love at the core. This is what is clarifying. This could be the one at the center of the reading. You have self-love at your core. You are prioritizing this. Nobody is going to pull you away from self-love. I really think that's why you guys are so game to deal with codependence or addictions or karmic issues coming up, because you owe it to yourself to do that. You owe it to yourself to be in a healthy relationship now. You're ready. That's what you're getting because you're deserving and you know it with this one. With this one, okay? For others of you, if you haven't called in this particular partner yet that feels so beautiful and so positive for you, it's by exercising that self-love, okay? It's going on a date that isn't, it's not horrible, but you're also not necessarily compatible and not sticking it out for like 2 hours because you feel bad. It's having the courage to tell somebody, look, thank you for your time. I'm really grateful we got to meet, but I'm just not feeling that connection. Rather than waste your time, rather than waste my time, let's just head out, okay? Thank you so much. Like in the beginning of a relationship, in that honeymoon phase, if you start to see some red flags with a new partner, really calling them out, not being afraid to step away from relationships, even if you started to invest some time into somebody new, because you're exercising self-love, okay? It's those healthy thoughts. It's that high-vibing energy, not just what you're putting out into the universe, but how you're also treating yourself. That's how you're going to call this person in, but it feels like for the majority of you, this is where you're at. But you've done the work. You've been doing this work all year and then some to get to this point where you really value. You really value your needs, right? Loving yourself and taking care of yourself the way you take care of other people. I think that that's new for Leo, but you guys are doing a really, really good job. Okay, not surprised that this card's going to pop, but a couple of messages here. We have codependence, clarified by attraction. Okay, Leo, you're going through this huge transformation, and there's this brand new energy out there in the world and in the universe for you, okay? You will be attracting a lot of different partners. Some of them may be codependent. If you feel like this is a karmic pattern that has repeated in multiple relationships, keep your eyes open for that, especially if you start to feel drained with somebody new. That's where you're going to exercise the self-love and you may step out. If it is the beginning of a new relationship, like the first couple of weeks, the first month or two of a relationship, I feel like if there's codependence showing up and this is a truly established relationship, you aren't cutting ties at all. You're just going to deal with it, okay? But let's put this down because this isn't the only message. We also just have attraction. You're attracting people to you in general, codependent or not, you're attracting new love. If you're traveling, you are absolutely attracting admirers. I'm feeling definitely some friendships coming through. I feel somebody, checking out your Instagram or social media on a regular basis, like really crushing on you right now. But the most beautiful message I come back to is that partner that you already have, who is the one, this beautiful person who's being extra romantic and extra kind and extra loving. It's because they are honoring this transformation. That is a good partner. That is somebody you're going to want by your side for a very long time to come. And many of you have already called that person in. Honor them, okay? Thank them. Show gratitude to them, but also reward yourself and give yourself a pat on the back because you deserve this. You've earned this. You have been doing a lot of work. Leos have been doing a lot of work helping other people, but especially doing work on that personal level. Let's get you guys a crowning card here. But this is a beautiful couple of weeks, Leo. This is a really beautiful couple of weeks. Wow. Okay, if you're single. If you're single, there's definitely somebody coming in soon here. I mean, Leo, normally I get a number with this. I try to channel in and see who you're attracting very soon. It's like I could easily tell you 3 different people here. I'm seeing 2 really solid partners. But to be honest with you, it's like there's such an abundance of positive energy in your life and being attracted to you, not just in the form of romantic partners, but friendships for sure. I mean, we have passion. At the bottom of the deck, somebody feels very passionate toward you, and you reciprocating this, maybe finally. You may not have felt this energy for a very long time or these feelings for somebody in a very long time. Well, it's showing up for you soon, but I feel you attracting a lot of people to you, a lot of attention to you at this time. So don't be surprised if it's more people than you even know what to do with. For some of you, you may be dealing with that. I'm definitely still feeling, I think I channel, I said 2 soulmates for you guys earlier on in the month. I'm getting like almost like 2.5, like a third person who would like to step in, you know, into the mix, but I just don't think they have what it takes. But I'm definitely feeling 2 people who could be pretty solid potential partners for you if you're single. Very soon, though, clarifying this, I mean, the romantic feelings, but also some of those romantic feelings and romantic moments triggering very soon some of that old separation energy. Leo, if it comes up for you, just honor it and honor that person in the past that you do still have some love for. It doesn't mean that you want to take steps backwards to go back to old relationships. It just means that you honor the relationship and what you've learned from that person. There's still love intact, and that's actually a really beautiful thing to walk away from an old relationship with, right? Because think of the alternative. You could be walking away with all sorts of grief and pain and trauma. It does feel like you guys have somebody beautiful in the past. You can continue to honor them without stepping back into old relationships. This feels new. If you're single, this feels like new energy you're going to want to step into, okay? Leo, if you feel like you need more clarity, reach out to me. I am available for private readings. I'm also available for energy healing work. I think you guys know at this point that that's actually what I specialize in. I'm a shaman. I'm a Reiki master teacher. If you feel like you need some energy healing done to cleanse energies, to help you call in this high vibing love and to make sure that you are very much in alignment with that, or healing in any capacity, reach out to me. I am available. I have a special rate for my YouTube subscribers. You can check that out on UrbanSoulGuruCo.com. But Leo, in the meantime, I'm sending you so much love, light, gratitude. I'll see you guys back here at the top of October. Love you, Leo. Ciao.